3 weeks ago, last Tuesday, I left me home in Cork to find me Uncle Martin Kelly a-livin' in New York. When we landed in Hoboken, I began without delay to find me uncle's residence located on Broadway. So we went to their directories, my uncle for to find, but I found so many Kellys there I nearly lost me mind. Oh well, that's a story genealogists and researchers are familiar with, and there's so many Irish family names and so many ways to spell the name, and different dialects in Ireland where it sounds different than it's spelled. And after all, in the beginning, they were all spelled in Irish if you knew how to spell, and they had to be translated into English as time went on. And so now you might go back and look at those old names, and there's a lot of extra letters in there that aren't even pronounced, and there's silent H's everywhere, and things affect things in a different way. Well, Irish family names are a very interesting part of history, and as you go back through the old history books, you're going to find different ways of spelling these names. Part of the reason is they had revivals and they redid the language so it was easier for people to understand or write, or tried to have one single way to do all this instead of four different provincial ways of spelling, and they didn't want things to get out of hand, so they changed things. They just automatically says, no, we're not going to use this. Oh, and the fada before your name now. That's interesting. If you've got an O name like me, OLaughlin, well, that O apostrophe L A-U-G-H-L-I-N used to be O fada L A-U-G-H-L-I-N. The fada was an accent mark, and the comma or the apostrophe that's in the O names today is a remnant of that old Irish way of doing things. So you may think you've lost contact with the old country if you're in America or Australia or Canada. But if you got that O and apostrophe before your name, you're carrying it with you, and you never knew it all along. There's, of course, Mac, Mick, and O are famous Irish prefixes, so to speak. Fitz is an Irish name now, but originally it came from somewhere else in almost every circumstance. People spelled their names differently in the 17th century. You're going to find certain letters added to the names there just because it was the way they did it. And that helps. If you're searching your family, that's an important thing too. If you want to know, well, what's going on? Where do these people disappear to? And some people are very regimented and know our name is spelled only one name. But I've never found a name that wasn't spelled more than one way. If not by the family, then by a census taker or a newspaper article or something like that. So you want to keep and be aware of what some of the eccentricities are of Irish names. We'll look at just specifically at surnames in the 1659 census, the 1890 birth index, early American sources, and we've got an index of 100,000 names just in our small research projects that come up, each tied to a source, which for rare names might be important for you. A lot of names changed in America. You can read letters that say, hey, Mom, next time you write back to me as a Johnson or a Journeyman, or use some completely different name that changed when they moved to California. I wonder what that was all about. Let me see. By Mac and O, you'll always know a true Irishman, they say, for he wears his Irish for his name each and every day. That's a little spelling I like. Now, my Donahue ancestors dropped the O. They wanted to fit into the American culture, and they might have dropped it, but they used it among friends from Ireland when they came over. But in town, it was much easier to be a Donahue than an O'Donoghue. Although they knew it. My great-great-grandfather did, and he's one reason why I do all this is because, I realized one day that for 2,000 years, people could understand their grandfather talking to their grandson, and all of a sudden, we've lost that ability. Moving to America and several generations down, we don't use that language anymore. So I like to sing in Irish. I like to read some of the old Irish, look at the old Irish words. I really can't read it. And it's important, and there's a lot of history tied up in those names. And you might not recognize some names that are Irish, and you might think some O names are Irish and they're not, just to give you an idea. So we'll have a poster exhibit with those names, and we'll talk about them. And if you got a hard name to figure out, feel free to come on and give me a question on it. We'll try to look it up. We can't always get it, but sometimes we can. So that's our Irish family name exhibit for the 2019-2020 year, and we have, of course, we have videos, and we have a poster exhibit that goes along with it. And if you're interested in it, you might think about finding out when our next showing is, or have us come on out and give a show for you. Thank you very much, and talk to you later. We've got one more, and that's genealogy, which has been big for a long time. Thank you very much. There came Brannigan, Flanagan, Milligan, Gilligan, Duffy, McGuffey, Malachi, Malone, Rafferty, Lafferty, Donnelly, Connolly, Dooley, O'Hooley, Modelly, Malone, Colonna, O'Hona, Hurlahan, Flanahan, Fagan, O'Hagan, O'Houlihan, Flynn, Shanahan, Manahan, Fogarty, Hogarty, Kelly, O'Skelly, McGinnis, McGuinn. Then shake hands with your Uncle Mike, me boy, shake hands with your sister Kate.